Hi, people of Earth. How you doing? I am making some socks, and I got a dropped rib stitch. It didn't go very far. I caught it pretty quick, and once you see that ribber needle shoot out and it doesn't open, that means it's a drop stitch. All you have to do is just take the bar of yarn underneath it and pop it back onto the ribber needle, and then it will start ribbing again, as I did here. But that still doesn't mean I gotta fix this. So let's do it. So the first thing I do is I took some scrap yarn out of my trash. Same stuff, if I didn't have it, if you don't have scrap yarn, then Kitchener, clip it off and then use that. And I gotta turn this guy inside out and try to do it gently so the stitch doesn't drop some more. I'm not really too worried about it. So here is our drop stitch. Let me zoom in. So here is the stitch. Is it? Yeah. Here's my stitch that dropped. See that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my latch hook tool. Actually, I'm not. Let me just pull out a cylinder needle. Pull out my cylinder needle. I'm going to turn this around this way. Like that. Put it through that stitch right there. I'm going to latch it up. One bar at a time. Go past the latch, and then pull. Through that bar, past the latch, and pull. And I like to just pull it so it's a little bit more. Obviously, I don't want to go this way because it'll come off. But if I go like that, past the bar, and pull. And let's just keep going. Any little wonkiness in the stitch length, or I'm kind of pulling these stitches kind of long, and it'll be fine. Once it goes through the wash, it'll all work out just fine, or even gets worn. All right, and now I only have it's starting to knit right there. So I got this bar. No, these are all bars. This is right where the stitch dropped, and these are bars. Let me pop that all the way through and show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I don't have like a water bottle or anything up here right now. Oh, I've got a comb. Sometimes I'll take I usually have like a water bottle with me, a Camelback water bottle, and I'll stick the water bottle down the sock so that it kind of pops everything and you can see real clearly. Oop, that needle came out. That's okay. See, look, now I can really see what's going on. Let's zoom in again. So you can see, like before, when that other side of the sock was showing through, it was hard to see that these are part of the drop stitch. And then it starts knitting right around here. So let's get back to it. There's my stitch. Go through under the bar, go past the latch, and then pull it up. And this is how I use a latch needle to latch up any drop stitches in my knitting too, in my hand knitting. It's a lot easier than using a crochet hook, I've learned. Okay, so that's technically I think that's it. But I'm going to do one more, otherwise there'll be a little hole. There we go. Let me back it out again. Now what? Well, now I take my scrap yarn and my needle, and I put a sharp tip on that. Doesn't need to be blunt. I'm going to go through there, and then I'm going to just tack this stitch down. So I'm going through until it's like, I want to leave a nice long tail because I got to do the same thing on the other side of this scrap yarn. So let me back out a little bit. So where do I tack it down? You know what? Before I do that, I'm just going to take a peek and see how it looks from the other side. Now that I've got that through, it's not going anywhere. You know what? It looks like I could do it just a couple, like one more bar. Otherwise, this is the hole I was talking about. I need to do it one more time to try to alleviate that whole situation. So let's do that. And also, oh yeah. Since I was stretching it out, that stitch was becoming smaller and that made the hole look big. So it won't be that bad but let's definitely do another stitch just to tack it all down. Boy, that one did not want to go through. Did I mess that up? I think I did. Let me just go like that. Stretch this guy out. This is why it's nice to, I should pop that cone back in there. It's really nice to see what's happening. There we go. I'm going to do one more. I think this is actually knit already, but I'm doing one more anyway. I don't want any holes. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's put the yarn through instead of this needle. And then have a look. Okay. The yarn is through. That stitch is not going to drop anymore. Now let's look. That's better. It's still got a teeny bit of little wonkiness right there, but guess what? There's no hole, which is good. And that, any wonkiness, someone would have to be like, what is happening? I'm at this 1 inch spot. And no one's going to do that. And it'll be fine after it goes through the wash. All right, so let's tack that stitch down now. Get this so that my tail is through the stitch. See how I've got plenty of yarn on both sides? I'm going to tack this side down, and then I'm going to thread my needle on that side and tack that side down. So, and you don't have to do a whole lot. Wool fibers like to grab onto each other, and this is also why I'm using the sharp needle, because if you could stab it through some of these strands of yarn, it'll help it grab through. See, so like I'm purposefully kind of going through some of these strands. And you can tack it in any way you like. I like to go down, I think that's maybe almost an inch, a little less than an inch, one way, and then I go up another way. And I'm just kind of meandering around here, a little back and forth, like that. And that is it. It's tacked down. Taking my needle off. I'm going to trim this side. As always, I always leave like just a little 1/4 inch tail, long enough for it to, not really be seen. Short enough for it not really to be seen. This is the last sock for my brother's family. Woohoo! So now I'm going to just tack the other side down. I like kind of just spiraling around in these rib stitches, purl stitches. And I'm trying to kind of go through the yarn also. I'm not trying to be clean about it. Go through that yarn so it'll get stuck and those fibers will mesh and intertwine together. I think my stitch that I'm tacking down is up here somewhere, and I'm just pulling it to make sure it's not like loose and floppy. There's not like a big loop around that stitch, so I think I'm good. Now I'm going to back up. Again, I'm just kind of meandering back and forth, picking up all these little stitches. That'll do it. That will do it. Trim that to be a 1/4 inch tail. Nice little 1/4 inch tail there. Oof. Let's have a look. Where was it again? I really don't know. I'm not sure where it was. So let's see if we can see it. Was it right in here? I think it might be. Looks good. Was it over here? No, that looks too uniform. I think it was right here. It looks great though. All fixed. And that is how you latch up a drop stitch, a dropped rib stitch, or any stitch, honestly. But usually for me, it's the dropped rib stitches. All right, that's all, guys. You have a good, happy cranking. Bye.